So, good morning, everybody. Myself, Acharya Vishwendra, and today I'm going to speak on the analysis of a teacher, as you can see in the figure over here. So, let's begin with things in proper perspective. So, today I'm going to discuss the analysis of a teacher, that what actually is a teacher and what is his job profile and how you can optimize the teacher. So, well, you see, if you see a teacher, he has got his brain and the mind. And how you know that somebody is a teacher? Because he is able to retain a lot of classified information in the class itself. He is able to do a lot of questions within a fraction of seconds. So he has certainly developed some sort of neural patterns using his mind and brain. So we can say that teacher is ultimately a source of developed neural patterns, which is obviously a very hectic, time consuming, and very difficult and painful task. So, teachers should be appreciated for developing the neural patterns and bearing the brunt of complexities in the process. That's why teachers are respected, because they have the capacity to bear the brunt of immense pain which occurs when you try to develop certain neural patterns. So let's begin with things in another perspective. So, for example, let's begin with a real life question. It's a physics question. Suppose that you are being given that there is a force on a particle which is 2x minus 5, and we need to find the speed of that particular body at x is equal to 4 meter. We are being given that speed at x is equal to 0 is 10 meter per second, mass is 2 kg. So how we will approach this question? So certainly we have to find speed as a function of the force. Now you just think that how is it speed related to the force? So if you will rack your brain, you will come to know that force is related to work, and work is related to kinetic energy, and kinetic energy is ultimately related to the speed. So in a way we need to connect force with work, and then work can be connected to kinetic energy, and then kinetic energy is connected to the speed. So that is the concept behind solving this question. So let's begin stepwise. The step one is you draw the coordinates x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 4, the first point. Second is you need work done is equal to change in kinetic energy, which is called the work energy principle. So from here we can say that work done is integration f dx, limits 0 to 4, which is delta k. Third task is to calculate this integration. Fourth task is this integration will be equal to minus of 4 after calculating this. Next task is this difference in kinetic energy is minus 4, so final kinetic energy is initial minus 4. Next step is initial kinetic energy is 100, so final will be 96. Next task is final kinetic energy is half m v square, so from here we can say that v is approximately 9.79 meter per second, so root 96 is over there. So you see that solving this question requires 7 steps. This is step 1, 2, 3 and so on up to 7th, and then you get the solution. Now there is a thing that within each step you will feel some change in your brainwave frequencies, and you need to adapt to those changes. But generally when you start solving the problems, then there is a feeling of anxiety, depression, uh, hurry, excitement. There are many psychological or emotional things taking place inside you. So you have to manage all of them to finally complete the task. That is why everybody cannot be a teacher, because everybody is not mentally strong to bear the brunt of the complex emotional processes when you try solving a particular problem. Uh, when I started working as a teacher, so during the very first 5,000 problems that I solved, I also had to go through a lot of, you see, emotional disturbances, a lot of painful things, but ultimately when I was able to solve 5000 questions, then things were very easy. So that is simply how you can be a teacher. Now the thing is that during each process there are certain steps which I have named as P1 to P6. Now here comes the role that there is a role of the neural pattern. Well, you see, just take the example here. When you solve a particular problem, then there is a certain sort of neural coordination between different parts of the brain, and that neural coordination is what we call as the neural pattern. And or this a lot of neural patterns makes up learning. So suppose you are able to solve this question, then there are, let us say, 7 neural patterns. When they integrates together, they forms a solution. Now these developed neural patterns gets transferred to the mind, and mind then again retains the entire neural pattern, and by virtue of that you are able to retain the entire process, retain the 7 steps, which explains how and why when you solve a particular question there is some sort of retention going on inside your mind brain system, and there is a transfer of the neural patterns from the mind to the brain, which is the most challenging task. So that is the neural pattern concept. So a good teacher, he has developed thousands of neural patterns. If JEE and NEET are concerned, there are about 30,000 neural patterns, and these are more than enough as they complete most of the syllabus, at least 90 to 95%. And it's a substantial amount of syllabus because nobody can be 100% efficient. There are always questions in JEE and NEET which are beyond the scope of even teachers who are teaching since 30 years, because it's based on new patterns. And if a teacher has not developed that pattern, so he'll not be able to decode that. That is where the role of IQ comes, where IQ dominates. Because if there is a student with a sharp IQ, he'll instantly decode the neural pattern and will be able to come to the solution. So they simply explain things. As per the neural patterns of a teacher are concerned, in class 11th, as per JEE and NEET syllabus, there are 14 chapters. Similarly, in class 12th also 14 chapters. So per chapter, if we see, there are about 1000 neural patterns. So there are a total of 28K patterns, and these are to be memorized. Obviously, if you don't remember the pattern, then you won't be able to solve the question. So there is a misconception among students that you can solve questions without memorizing, but the fact is that within that short duration of time, it is the game of the developed and well learned neural patterns which dominates in the exam. Although it's also true that there are certain exceptional problems, one or two problem in every year, but that exceptional problem too can be solved if you have the basic neural pattern plus highly critical analytical skills, and that too during a high pressure exam conditions. So memorizing the neural patterns or making the neural patterns is the key to success in any competitive exam or any sphere of life. Instantaneous thinking is good, but it requires certain specific DNAs to have that sort of mind brain system. And life does not work on extremities, life works on everything which are of use to the common people and are basically dominated by the survival mode. So just think teacher as a collection of certain neural patterns, and but generally what happens is a student think that teacher knows everything. No, it's not true. If we analyze a teacher, he has considerably developed certain thousands of neural patterns, and that is how a teacher can be of great use to the students, because he can make students learn in a faster, in a better, and in a less energy requiring process, and output will be better. So in a way, teacher is just a collection of neural patterns, and he should be seen just as a somebody who can develop neural patterns in you within less time, and or we can say that in optimized time and energy process. So that is the analysis of a teacher. Thank you and have a nice day.